Hi dear students, Santosh here, and today I am going to deliver the lecture number 10 of wastewater management, which deals with the solid waste management, its sources, classification, collection and disposal. This lecture is important for all degree and diploma level students, as well as it is very important for MPSC and other competitive type of examinations. So one must know the process flow of the solid waste management. The process flow starts with the collection. This is the collection. Then it goes to transportation of that solid waste. Then we can recover some part of that solid waste. Then we process that solid waste and then we dispose that solid waste. So all these processes are very important in case of solid waste management. So we have to manage that solid waste. So let us start the lecture with the definition of solid waste, which is described in my short. What is the solid waste? All the waste arising from the human and animal activities and which is in solid or semi-solid in nature and which may be discarded as a useless or unwanted. That is solid waste. Solid waste refer to discarded material which is not in a liquid or gaseous form. It can contain the items such as paper, plastic, metal, glass and organic waste from the households, businesses, industries and institutions. Managing solid waste is essential to maintain the environmental sustainability and public health. For public health and sustainability means संतुलन पर्यावरणाचं राखण्यासाठी आपल्याला solid waste management is very important. Then we are going to discuss the different types of solid waste: domestic waste, industrial waste, institutional waste, agricultural waste, hazardous waste, biomedical waste, e-waste. Nowadays it is very important. Then commercial waste, construction and demolition waste, combustible and non-combustible waste, and biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. One must know all these types of wastes. Then we are going to discuss the sources of solid waste as discussed in the short. Residential, then institutional waste. Institutional means school, municipal offices, hospitals, etc. Commercial sources, retail stores, service stations, offices, warehouses, etc. Then industrial sources means various types of industries which are related to consumer goods also, or agricultural goods or other type of industries. Then agricultural sources, farm operations, then food, animal and poultry farm. We get solid waste from agricultural activities. Then municipal sources, demolition and construction, street washing and sweeping, water and sewage treatment plants and tree leaves, etc. All these sources are very important which contributes the solid waste. Then we are going to classify the solid waste as a hazardous waste and non-hazardous waste. Name itself indicates hazardous means it is very dangerous to the human or animal or environment, and non-hazardous means it is not so dangerous to the human, animal as well as environment. Then we are going to discuss the types of hazardous waste: reactive waste, ignitable waste, medical waste as well as corrosive waste. These are the types of hazardous waste. Reactive, name itself indicates it is unstable and tends to react vigorously with air, water and other substances. Then ignitable waste. This waste burns at relatively low temperature and are capable of spontaneous combustion during storage, transport and disposal. Nowadays there are news that solid waste depot gets ignited or gets burned due to this ignitable waste. So one must know the temperature at that solid waste station as well as the type of substances also which causes that solid waste to burn. Then medical waste. This waste includes human tissue from surgery, bandages, microbiological material and other substances generated by hospital, biological research centers, etc. Corrosive waste. The waste includes strong alkaline and acidic substances. Corrosion means acid and alkali. You know that 0 to 7 and 7 to 14, that pH scale. So this waste includes the alkaline and acidic substances which destroy the material and living tissues by chemical reaction. Then we are going to discuss the types of non-hazardous waste. that is biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste, name itself indicates it is degrade by the various types of oxidation, and major contribution in biodegradable waste are the fruit processing, cotton mills, paper mills, sugar mills and textile factories, etc. Non-biodegradable waste, these are produced by the thermal stations plants in the form of iron and steel plant which produces the blast furnace slag, you know, the fly ash also, and red mud, etc. Then we are going to discuss the collection of municipal solid waste. Municipal solid waste are picked up from the various sources like households, means houses, institutions, commercial centers, etc., and then taken into the nearest transportation by holding vehicles. Sometime refuse is generated, means solid part, collected from the individual houses in a small container, and from there it is collected by the sweepers in small hand-driven lorries and cars, and it is dumped into the chamber constructed by the municipalities, and from where it is carried by the municipal trucks. This is the normal practice. The solid waste is collected by the different vehicles such as a dumper, compactor, truck, tractor and capsules, etc. Method of collection of solid waste. These are important and sometimes asked in descriptive type of examination. Collection system based on the availability of service, that is curb system. Second is alley system. Third is the backyard service, and fourth is the set out and setback service. One must know all these four methods. Then collection method based on mode of operation, that is hauled container system and stationary container system. Name itself indicates how they collect, and we are going to discuss first the collection system based on availability of service, curbside or curb system. Curbside collection or curbside collection is a service provided to the households typically in urban and suburban areas, means it is in district place or taluka or block places of removing household waste. Containers at the curb on scheduled day. The workman come, collect and empties the container and put back at the curb. House owner is required to take back that empty container from the curb to the house. We know that the curb stones are placed at the edges of the road. These are the curbside, or this is the curbside, and containers are placed there, and that containers are taken off, and the garbage or solid waste is collected and transported, and again that container are taken from that place to the house. This is the curb system. Then second is the alley system. The alley is nothing but the gully or board. We know it as a board. That is narrow area. The container placed in the alley line from where they are picked up by the workman from the refuse vehicle, and who deposit back the empty container. Similar to that of curb system. Then set out and setback service. Set out man go to the house, collect the container and empty them in the refuse vehicle. Another group of persons return them to the house owns yard. That is set out setback service. म्हणजेच कचरा घ्यायला माणूस येतो, तो कचरा एम्प्टी करतो आणि ते कंटेनर तुम्हाला परत देतो. That is nothing but the set out setback service. Then backyard service. The worker with the vehicle carry a bin, wheelbarrow or sack or a cloth to the backyard and empty the solid waste container in it. The wheelbarrow or bin is then taken to the solid waste vehicle where it is emptied. That is the backyard service, means the service at the solid waste station. Then we are going to discuss the collection method based on the mode of operation, that is hauled container system. An empty storage container known as a drop-off box is hauled to the storage site to replace the container that is full of waste, which is then hauled to the processing point, transfer station or disposal sites. म्हणजेच काय आहे, सॉलिड वेस्टने भरलेला कंटेनर त्या स्टेशनला घेऊन जायचा आणि तिथून तो एम्प्टी करून किंवा तिथला एम्प्टी कंटेनर परत घेऊन यायचा. Stationary container system. In this system, container used to storage the waste remain at the point of collection. The collection vehicle generally stop alongside the storage containers, and collection crew load the waste from the storage container into the collection vehicle and then transport the waste to the processing, transfer or disposal sites. ह्याच्यात काय करतात तर कचरा हा कलेक्ट करतात तिथून, तो कचरा ट्रान्सफर करतात व्हेकलमध्ये, तो कंटेनर सगळं देत नाहीत आणि ती व्हेकल मात्र प्रोसेसिंग प्लांटच्या इथे घेऊन जातात. अतिशय सोपं आहे. दॅट इज स्टेशनरी कंटेनर सिस्टीम. देन we are going to discuss the equipments used for collection and transportation of the solid waste. One know that the litter bin, it is provided on the roadside having capacity of 60 to 150 liters. It is useful for collecting the waste to be thrown by citizens moving on the road. Means that litter bin is used to collect the solid waste which is obtained from the road. Then broom, the long handled brooms are useful for sweeping the streets. You know the brooms. Then shovels, it is useful for digging, lifting and moving the bulk waste materials. The broad blade fixed shovels are most commonly used for collection of this solid waste. Then hand carts, you know hand carts, that is 6 to 8 bins and having 25 liters capacity. That hand cart is driven by the hand of worker. Then animal cart, it is driven by the animals. These vehicles are driven by the horses or donkeys or other animals used for collecting the waste. The capacity of these vehicles varies from 2 to 4 meter cube. There is no need of fuel for collection of waste because it is driven by the animals. And then trucks having capacity of 5 to 6 meter cube are useful for collection and transportation of waste from the communal sites. Then dumpers are used for collection and transportation of large quantity of solid waste. And the main advantage of using dumper is that it is emptied immediately due to hydraulic mechanism. That is very important. Then compactor vehicles compact the solid waste by using mechanical pressure which reduce the volume of the waste. The capacity of this vehicle varies from 5 to 10 meter cube. One must know that these capacities and such a type of questions are asked in competitive type of examinations. Then we are going to discuss the disposal of solid waste by incineration, then composting, landfilling and recycling. What is the incineration of solid waste? Nothing but the burning. Incineration is one of the most effective disposal method in which solid organic waste are subjected to the combustion and convert them into the residue and gaseous products. The process sterilizes and stabilizes the waste and reduces the volume of the solid up to 20 to 30% of original volume of that waste. Most of the combustible material is converted into the ash or carbon dioxide. This method requires separation of the material like a soil, broken glasses, then ceramic materials, metals, etc., which are non-combustible in nature. The combustible garbage is burned into the furnaces also. The residue of their waste after burning are used to produce the low-grade concrete. One must know that. Then composting. Composting is the process by which organic waste are broken down into the microorganisms, generally bacteria, fungi, into simpler forms. The microorganisms use the carbon in the waste as an energy source. So what is composting? It is nothing but the preparation of the fertilizers or khat. Composting can be carried out in two ways, aerobically and non-aerobically. One must know aerobic bacteria and non-aerobic bacteria. Composting converts organic waste such as a food waste, leaves, grass trimmings, paper, wood, agricultural residue, etc. into beneficial organic fertilizers called as a humus. One must know that humus. So please refer this figure. This figure, and there is action by the water. Water is there, heat is there, carbon dioxide there, and this is the compost pile. And due to oxidization or aerobic or non-aerobic action due to this oxygen, that composting process is carried out. One must know this diagram for composting. Then we are going to discuss the process of composting. Process of composting includes the three stages: preparation of the solid waste, second is the decomposition of the solid waste as shown in that figure, and marketing of final product. In the first step, rubber, plastic, leather and metals are removed from the solid waste. Starts decomposition of microorganisms present in the waste and converts the solid waste into soil conditioner. Bacteria oxidizes the organic matter to the carbon dioxide and liberate heat. The temperature rises up to 45 degrees Celsius and then thermophile bacteria take over and continue decomposition. During the process, temperature rises further to 50 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Celsius, which destroys the pathogenic bacteria. In about 4 to 5 weeks, biodegradable matter gets consumed and complete stabilization occur after 2 to 8 weeks. The end point of the composting is drop in temperature. One should take proper care as far as moisture content is concerned, because excessive moisture will make it difficult to maintain the aerobic condition, as excessive moisture is dangerous for aerobic bacteria. The third step includes grinding, blending, granulation, bagging, storing and transporting. Then we are going to discuss the land filling. लँड फिलिंग म्हणजे काय की थोडक्यात जमिनीवर ते सॉलिड वेस्ट टाकणे, त्या जमिनीवर मातीचे वेगवेगळे थर करणे आणि त्या मातीखाली त्या सॉलिड वेस्टला प्रोसेस करणे. इन दिस मेथड रिफ्यूज इज फिल्ड अँड डम्प्ड इन टू द सेल इन अ लेअर ऑफ अबाउट 1.5 meter thick, and then it is converted into the good earth by about 15 to 20 centimeter thick. The refuse is spread uniformly, dumped in cell and compacted in layers by the rollers or bulldozers. A refuse is converted with good earth. It will not create nuisance or hazards to the public health or safety because it is below that earth. After filling the cell with first lift, the second lift is laid covered with good earth called as a intermediate cover. Similarly, process is continued till topmost lift is piled up, and at top 0.6 meter final cover of good earth is laid, which prevents the rodents from burrowing into the refuse. The filled refuse will get stabilized due to decomposition by an aerobic or by an anaerobic bacteria process. So anaerobic action and anaerobic action both are very important. Then we are going to discuss the recycling of the municipal solid waste. Recycling म्हणजे तुम्हाला माहित आहे पुनर्वापर किंवा पुनर्वापरात आणणे. Recycling includes the collection, sorting, marketing and processing of the materials removed from the solid waste that is useful. Material for recycling can be collected separately from the general solid by using bins or collection vehicles. Initially, the material is separated into various different bins for paper, plastic, metal. The separate bins are kept for their collection at source. Sometimes all recyclable material are collected and the sorting is handled later at central facility. Recycling is the important factor in the management of the solid waste. This is very important, and recycling produces the material into the valuable resources which would be otherwise become waste. So that waste, from that waste we are recovering some best materials. So thanking you, and for more details and notes please contact my new administrator Mr. Viren, and his number is 8766847055, and my email ID is svkulkarni72@gmail.com. So thanking you, and please wait for my next lecture which might be on noise pollution. Thanking you. Bye bye.